While Necros continued to dominate the format, a new set, Cross Souls, was released on May 15th, 2015. This set would provide new tools for all top decks at the time, but none of these decks would be prepared for what lurked between the scales. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Elestrals collectible card game has shocked the card game world, already raising $500,000 on Kickstarter. There's an eager fan base ready to dive in and make Elestrals the next big card game franchise. Elestrals offers some of the best elements from other card games you know and love, such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Magic the Gathering. However, the biggest differentiator that makes Elestrals stand out is the Spirits mechanic, which act as your life total, energy, and mana all in one. Elestrals was designed to be easy to learn from the ground up, yet difficult to master, and this is your chance to join the world of Elestrals from the very beginning. The Elestrals Kickstarter is still live, but only for a very short amount of time, so click the link down below and make your pledge because you are not going to want to miss out. Remember, this is your only opportunity to pick up the Founders Edition of the game, and if you back this Kickstarter right now, you'll receive exclusive beta access to the online digital app for Elestrals.
It's the middle of 2015 and WCQ season is upon us. At the European World Championship qualifier held in June of this year, it's unsurprising that the deck to beat was... Are you sure you're ready for this? Necros. Coming in second, third, and fourth were Burning Abyss, Shaddoll, and Qliphort, but this was one of the earliest breakout tournaments for a different kind of Qli deck. Nestled in the top 8 was one copy of this, Towers Turbo, and it all revolves around this card, Qliphort Towers. For individuals that weren't playing Yu-Gi-Oh! During this period, I cannot hype this card up enough for you. The fanlation of this was Qliphort Killer, and we thought it was going to do just that, kill the metagame dead. This card can't be special summoned, requires 3 Qli tributes to normal summoner set, a steep cost to be sure, but if you get it onto the field, it is unaffected by spell trap effects and by the activated effects of any monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's current level, which you'll notice is at 10. To make matters worse, its 3000 attack body was supplemented by the fact that all special summoned monsters lose 500 attack and defense. It's even got removal attached. Once per turn, you can make your opponent send a monster from their hand or side of the field to the graveyard. It took a little bit of doing, but eventually duelists were able to break this card, finding setups that made Qliphort Towers with about 80% consistency. This was unbelievable. Sure, decks did have some outs. For example, any rank 4 strategy could make Diamond Crab King, which could trade with Qliphort Towers, but they'd put so many materials into this singular monster only for the Qli player to reveal, if you have the material to get to towers, you've got Scales and Qliphorts in the extra deck, Pendulum summoning 5 back next turn and attacking for a massive lethal push. Towers was such a feared deck that we use its name today to describe huge monsters that don't have conventional outs, things that are unaffected by spells, traps, or monster effects. It's not surprising, therefore, that this list contains a who's who of broken, non-once-per-turn draw spells. A significant amount of these cards have a little 1 in the corner because eventually Konami realized leaving too many of them legal at any given time opens the door to crap like this. So let's go through the cards real quick. First, of course, is the namesake of the deck, Qliphort Killer himself. After that, we've got 3 copies of Performapal Trampolinx. This may seem out of place in a Qliphort deck, but it's got a 4 scale in a deck full of 5s and higher, and if you scale this and Scout, add with Scout, then perform a Pendulum Summon, you can bounce back to your hand the Scout, start using your extra deck as you no longer control a scale that prohibits you from performing special summons of anything but Qliphort monsters, then reset the Scout, which is not a hard once per turn, and search again. Frequently, you would get between 2 and 3 scout activations over the course of a turn between multiple copies emboldened by triple summoner's art and bounces by trampolinks. After that, we've got 1 carrier, 2 cephalopod, 3 disc, 1 helix, triple shell, triple stealth, double monolith, which is kind of just pot of greed and hands that don't make towers, 2 scout, 3 into the void, sacred sword of the 7 stars, sacrifice, summoner's art, 3 trade in, most of these guys are level 8, 3 upstart, and 3 wavering eyes. Now I do want to talk real quickly about this card. This deck is the breakout of this unbelievably powerful search spell. It allows you to destroy as many cards in either player's pendulum zone as possible, then apply these effects in sequence. If you destroy 1, your opponent takes 500. If you destroy 2, you add a pendulum from your main deck to your hand. If you destroy 3, it banishes a card on the field. And if you destroy 4, you get another one, as well as all of the previous effects. Obviously, this card was mostly used to take the scales, put them in your extra deck, and add a scout to your hand, allowing you to pendulum summon 2 cards immediately, your 1 off of a towers. But it also had unbelievable applications in the mirror. If your opponent has set scales and you set scales, then activate Wavering Eyes, boy oh boy are you about to win the game. Finally, we've got 1 skill drain and a Vanities. Vanities is still legal. What is going on? In the side, we've got 3 copies of Majesty's Fiend, 2 Vanities, triple double Cyclone, triple Galaxy Cyclone, triple MST, and 1 Recreate. One guess as to what we're scared of. In the extra, we've got a bunch of 4s, a bunch of 5s, and we're not going to make a single one of them. So with that, let's jump into the game.
Let me go ahead and set the scene for you. A few episodes ago, Joseph and I play a Qli versus BA match on History of Yu-Gi-Oh! He gets smashed and says, Alex, how about we go ahead and have a rematch? You know what? If he wants to get a free loss, I am all here for it. So, welcome to Cross Souls, ladies and gentlemen. This is a set that upgrades a majority of the Duelist Alliance decks, and unfortunately, Nekroz is still the best deck. We decided to take a bit of a reprieve because you've seen Nekroz up until this point. Honestly, next episode and the next several episodes, you're probably going to continue seeing Nekroz. And while we could have played both Burning Abyss and Qli against Nekroz to give you a sense of what those decks are doing, we figured we would just shortcut and have these decks play against one another so you can see how they've evolved in these past several months, and then maybe you'll see them again in the future once we get to some new ban lists, some more new sets. We wanted to just sort of get out of this era because we feel like it's getting a bit redundant and we want to move on to some more fun things. So this is Burning Abyss. We're not going to do the individual card by card as slow as we usually do just because you've seen these cards before. We're going to talk about some of the newer stuff. So one of those new cards is actually Barbar. I think this is the first time we've seen this monster in the Burning Abyss list. I forget which set this was courtesy of, but Barbar was a fantastic inclusion and actually gave Burning Abyss a way to win in time. Its effect is that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 3 Burning Abyss cards in your grave and then deal 300 damage to your opponent for each. As a result, this meant that you could do 900 damage a turn if you're able to recur the Barbar and then send it to the graveyard again, and made it very scary when you got into low life totals playing against Burning Abyss, as if you didn't already have enough to worry about. But of course, we have the 3 Seer, the 2 Farfa, the 3 Graph, the 1 Libic, the 2 Mathematician, double Maxi, 1 Rubik, triple Skarm, and double Tour Guide. For the spells, we just have Foolish and Raigeki. This is obviously for the Jin out. And then for the traps, we have a fuck ton of them. We have triple copies of Breakthrough Skill, Crush Card Virus, a card that was newly unbanned because it has an errata. The errata for this card is not very good, but depending on the circumstances, actually not terrible. You tribute a dark monster with 1,000 or less attack. This is the same. Your opponent takes no damage till the end of the next turn after this resolves. This is definitely very different. Also, look at your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and if you do destroy the monsters among them with 1,500 or more attack, then your opponent can destroy up to 3 monsters with 1,500 or more attack in their deck. So a lot of downsides here for Crush Card to be playable again, but funny enough, it did see play because it was actually somewhat relevant against some certain matchups. Then we have triple of the new card, Fiend Griefing. This card is like a custom card for BA. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then you can send 1 Fiend type monster from your deck into the graveyard. So not only is this an active way to essentially DD Crow your opponent, let's say you're playing in the mirror match, you can stop like a Seer reviving something, but it's also a way to dump any of your BAs into the graveyard to trigger their effects, essentially just giving you another way to interact with them in a way they may not be prepared for. We've got the 1 Fire Lake, of course, because Fire Lake is still crazy. Depends on the matchup, but obviously in this matchup, it's insane. Double Karma Cut, double Mind Crush, double Mistake. We need to play a lot of these cards to hedge against our Necroz matchup, otherwise we have zero chance of winning it. Double Raigeki Break, 1 Skill Drain, which this deck can play under Skill Drain quite well, but unfortunately Qli can too. A Solemn Warning and a Vanity's Emptiness, rounding our deck to 41. In the extra, we have 1 Virgil, triple Dante, triple Downer to be able to protect those Dantes. We have an Alucard, a Mech-Whipped Engineer, a Giga Brilliant, 2 copies of Acid Golem. This is quite relevant, especially because we're playing the 1 Skill Drain. A Nightmare Shark. This is one of the things that makes Barbar a bit scary as well, because Nightmare Shark can attack directly for 2,000, and if you detach a Barbar that does 900, that's 2,900 points of damage you can deal out of nowhere, so a very scary combination. Fortune Tune's also a very funny card that you can stall on potentially if you need to buy time, and of course Zen Mage is one of the best rank 3s ever printed. And then for the side deck, triple Majesty's Fiend and double Vanity's Fiend. This is just to win like the mirror match or against like Shadal or any of these other decks. You can just bring these in, special BA, tribute for this, and pretty much just win from there. The third Max C's in the side as well. We have 2 Defusion for our Shadal matchup, double Galaxy Cycle and triple MST just for any of the back row matchups. We have 1 Fire Lake in addition to our 1 in the main deck, and another mistake from we know for a fact we're playing a deck that this matters against. I feel like you could main this, but you know, I'm not the one who played this deck, so that's not for me to decide. So it's going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. I guess Joseph just wants to hand over a free win to me, so I will happily take it. Let's not make you guys wait any longer. It's time to duel. Joseph, I don't think the viewers were expecting to not see a Necroz match in the next 9 months, but here we are, because I think for the viewer's sanity, and more so for our own sanity, we needed to spice things up a bit.
Yeah, completely honestly, we could have done these 2 decks versus Necroz, but if we did that, I would have jumped off a bridge.
Or in this case, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, like your card sleeves. Both of these decks have received significant upgrades, though, courtesy of Crossed Souls. Yep. Yours, I think, is a little bit better now. I mean, BA is still fine, but I'm a bit scared for how this match is going to play out, and I feel like I might be in the shirt of shame next week, especially if I lose the die roll.
I was going to say, a lot depends on that.
Yeah, let's shout the patron, King Organizer G1. Thank you for the support. You can organize me a way to somehow win this game. Buddy, you got the hand up. Yep. I rolled a 6, so even.
Odd 1. The only monster I'll need to summon. The 8-bow Qliphort Killer. All right, let's see if we open the combo. It was something like an 80% rate, so it's very likely we don't. All right, so we're going to begin with an Into the Void.
Okay, so you might have the combo.
Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars.
That's not good. I cannot believe they were playing this. Yes.
They had to. Let's go Into the Void.
That's fine.
Well.
You having fun over there?
No.
What'd you say? 80% chance that you end on towers turn 1? Huh?
Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? That's what I said. Okay, no problem. Let's scale Ape Qliphort Shell.
Sure. I just realized we are not playing with the Master Rule 3 board, but if you have to set 4 back row, then, you know, we'll restart. Shell is fine.
Trampolinx.
That's awful. Yes.
Trampolinx is crazy in this deck.
Not when you have a shell in the other scale.
Yeah, usually you want it to be something else. We're going to PS2. Let's go Trampolinx. Normal Shell. Okay. And now we can perform a normal summon, correct?
You have just normaled the shell.
Are you sure? I feel like maybe that's not true. All right, let's keep the shell in the pendulum zone.
Does someone have the towers in their hand?
Someone does, in fact.
Yes! Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So these are just 1,800 morons, right?
Correct.
Good. Okay, we can beat that. Shell is reducing all my guys by 300, though, so I do have to be mindful of that. We will go activate Rubik.
Yeah.
So we'll special him. We'll normal graph.
Yep.
Overlay for Dante number 1 here.
Yep.
We'll go effect mill for cost.
Oh, those are pretty good.
Those aren't great. Those are not great. I do get a graph here, so that's not terrible. Probably get the Seer into rotation. Sadly, Seer does not clear. So maybe actually go for Scarm instead. Yeah, let's do that. So go to battle. Dante can hit over 1 of these. I really don't like stealth, so let's get rid of him.
All right, what is this? 18
20
minus 3. So
to my 22. You'll take 4. Then end of battle phase. Dante goes to defense.
Yep.
And I will set 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus.
Be my guest, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, show me the fire lake and I will scoop them up. All right. Game check. The thing about 80% is the 20% of the time you don't open it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's
Jesus
true.
Christ, this one is not much better. Actually, this one is much better. All right, Qliphort disc, Qliphort monolith. Oh,
Okay,
damn,
you
what a
monolith.
fool. Joseph, you absolute moron. These are both ones. Just kidding. Wavering eyes.
Fuck. Yeah, this hand's pretty good.
It's
Sure.
all right. Okay, take your 5.
Yep, I will take my 5.
And
Thank
that's
you.
time in the round, idiot. All right, let's go Qliphort Scout.
Might be the only way you can win this one. Yep.
Oh my god, you are being so mean to me for no reason. Qliphort Scout effect.
You are playing tower, so I don't think there's no reason. But yeah, Scout's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty good reason, actually. Ooh. Let's just grab anyone, you know? Do you have a preference? Which one of these guys would you like to see?
Cephalopod, preferably.
Ooh, you sure? I think I would like stealth. I think stealth is a little better.
Sure.
Just a little, though. He's not that much better. All right, we'll go Trample Lynx over here.
Oh, okay.
Time to perform a pendulum summon. 1, 2, 3. And you
Where are
talked
your link arrows, sir?
so much shit on Performapal Trample Lynx. Add that scout back to hand.
I said when you have shell, it's not great. When
Now-
you have scout, on the other hand, it's a different game.
Thankfully, there's a hard once per turn on scout, so you can't perform the the line that I'm doing right now. All right, well, you know, this is the play. Stealth gone, monolith gone, disc gone, and now guess what? It's time for the Apo Qliphort Killer.
I hate this card.
God, he's really something. Holy guacamole. Okay. Good luck, my friend. Very good luck.
And you have
to
a back row.
And the back
And you have a
row
back
could
row.
be literally anything.
Literally anything. So let me just get a refresher here. So unaffected by spell and trap effects.
Correct.
And activated effects of monsters whose original level rank is lower than this card's current level, which is everything.
Which is 10,
all special summon monsters lose 500 attack and defense,
Correct.
which is also annoying. And once per turn, you can just make your opponent send one monster from their hand or their field to the graveyard. Very funny.
This
that
is
it's
going to
worded
shock
that
you.
way.
I am not going to use that here against Burning Abyss.
Rob, why is that, buddy? I don't know why you wouldn't. It seems like a pretty good idea to me. All right, we'll go main 1. So let's begin with a special summon of Barbar, if you'll allow it.
Barbar. Yeah, I'll allow it.
I don't think we've actually seen him in this entire season yet. And we'll go ahead and normal ourselves a Scarm. Anything here?
I know you don't have a 3 that outs Killer.
Buddy, don't worry about it. I may have a way. We'll go Dante effect.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the Scarm. We'll mill 3.
Oh, cool, dude. That's crazy. Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah, they're not bad. Farfa would be good if it could actually get rid of the towers. But
Activated effects, am I right?
Funny thing about that, it does not work that way. Instead, with the graph, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Seer. Sure, let's do that. And then I'm going to set 3 cards, go to my end phase, and I'll attempt to activate Scarm.
That's fine.
Get Tour Guide, and over to you.
All right. Standby main.
Would you like to use Qliphort Towers as effect?
Oh, you mean the one to send your shit?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Is main phase okay?
Main phase is fine.
You're out of your mind if you think I'm going to give you an opportunity to fire like me. Stealth. Monolith. Disc. I'll take the hit on the Trample Lynx. That's okay with me. All right. Time to pay 8. Feel great. We're going to grab... I don't know, shell. I think we have. You know what? You asked so nicely. Let me get cephalopod. Why?
There he is.
Okay. How do we have to do this? The seer is gonna mess things up first. So we'll go Ceph into the grave. We'll go to battle.
Okay.
Ceph and a seer.
We'll go Seer effect. Let's get back graph.
Yeah. Let's go monolith and a graph. I'm going to use one of the
Graph
18s
effects.
in a graph, yeah.
We'll grab ourselves a Scarm.
Yeah, we'll use Monolith and a Scarm.
Makes sense.
There was a reason I was doing this. Killer into Dante.
We'll go Dante. I would like to go Barbar because it's very funny, but I kind of need these dudes. Nah, fuck it. We'll Barbar.
Woo!
So we'll get back Seer with Dante. And actually, no, it's not true. We're going to get Graph back with Dante.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then Barbar, we're going to banish The Scarm that did not go to grave this turn. This Farfa. We'll just do the 2, so I'll burn you for 6.
And then who have we not attacked with yet? The disc?
You haven't attacked with one of the 1800 Clees.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. So I'll take 18 here.
Let's make you take just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's kind of big. So I'll take an extra 1,000.
That's the whole turn.
Bar burn, baby. That's all I got to do.
I've been there before. I have been there before.
Main 1. All right. Is there hope? I'm skill drained now, so this tour guide is looking quite bad. Let's go. I'm going to normal graph.
I like this play so far.
Set 1.
Yeah.
Pass.
That's an interesting play. Stand by me.
Oh, good.
Battle.
Sure.
We'll go Monolithin.
So I'm going to go Karma Cut here. I'm going to pitch graph. I'm going to take out your stealth. Sure.
Okay.
Then graph in a new chain. Or seer in a new chain, excuse me. I'm going to get Dante.
Yeah, I bet you are.
And then Fire Lake.
That's fine.
So my 2 BAs, I'm going to take out your skill drain, disc, and I think I want to take out your scout as well. It's either that or the cephalopod, which is something I never thought I'd utter. Yeah, take out the scout.
Sure. Okay.
And more effects here, unless you have something.
No, I ain't got nothing.
Okay, so then Dante and Graph. So Dante is going to pick back up Scarm, and Graph is going to summon... Fuck it, I'll get Libic.
We'll go Monolith into Libic.
That is fine.
We'll go Ceph Direct.
I will Karma Cut the Cephalopod.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Would I know the card in hand, right?
It's tour guide.
Yeah. And then Killer Direct.
I'll take 3.
I realized we cheated just a little bit.
Okay.
The disc that attacked directly was a special summoned monster and is affected by towers. So you're 500 higher than this.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Second main, I guess I'll activate towers here.
I'll get rid of the tour guide.
Not like it really matters. You're getting another one. Okay. Well, wish I had something more fun to do, but I don't. I'll set 1 and pass.
God, you in the back row. Just when I thought I had a chance. I mean, I guess I'll get tour guide and just play into skill drain and lose. Yep. I'll draw.
Skill drain, I believe,
Show it
is
to me.
actually limited at this point.
Effect?
Yeah, I think there's only one skill drain I'm allowed to play.
But you could have vanities.
No, I don't.
Oh, thank God.
Do you think I got room for vanities? I do, but I didn't draw it.
I was about to say, I think you could have room for vanities if you'd like. What are we doing here? Let's go for Graph.
Yeah.
Make Dante.
Yep.
Probably want this Dante in defense because I cannot kill Monolith.
You actually can. Monolith is taking 5 as well.
Oh, because it was Pendulum Summon. That's right. Yep. So actually, I will be able to beat over potentially. All right. So we'll go effect here.
Yep.
See what we get.
Ooh, 3 good
Nothing
ones.
good. I do get a graph, though. With graph, let's get a Seer. Or do I want Scarm? Don't really think it makes a major difference. I'll get Scarm.
Sure.
And we'll just try to clear the Monolith.
I'll take 100 here.
Go to defense. And then second main. One in the back. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Stand by main. All right, we found a scale. Shell.
There it is. Yep.
PS3. We're going to use Trampolinks here, targeting Shell.
Sure.
And now, let's make a fucking 5, my guy. Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go Volcasaurus here.
It's probably one of the best applications of Trampolinks is the fact that you get out of the Klee lock. It's fine.
We will go Volcasaurus effect, targeting Dante.
So I will take 1,000 here.
Yep.
Trigger the Dante. Let's get back a Seer.
Yep. Let's go Thunder Charger.
There he is.
Battle. Wow.
Sure. Thinking. So this is piercing. So I'm going to take 6 from this.
Yep.
Sure. That's fine.
Killer.
I'm going to go Raigeki Break, pitch Seer, target disc.
Oh, that's like kind of whack. Yeah, no response to this.
Okay. And then Seer effect, I'll get Dante back.
We will, I guess we'll just redeclare. No real reason not to. The reason not to would be you don't get a... You've already Scarmed this turn, right?
Scarm has already hit the grave, yes.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave you on Dante, I think. I'm trying to think, maybe F-Zero Utopic Future is a problem. We'll cycle the Dante. Yeah, get this guy out of here.
That's fine. So I'll activate. We'll get the Seer back.
All right. Second main, get that guy out of your hand.
Sure.
Go ahead.
We will Scarm.
Yep.
We are out of tour guides. You're not out of Seers, though, so I'll grab him.
Yep.
All right, main one. Let's try this. I'm going to activate Fiend Griefing, targeting your scout.
That's fine. Oh. This was cutting you off everything forever, huh?
Yes, it was.
Well,
yes,
you know, it does what
was.
it has to. All right. Whoop.
So that gets shuffled. We'll dump Graph. Graph effect. I'm going to grab a Farfa.
Yep.
For all the good it'll do me. Let's go normal Seer. We'll attempt to overlay. There we go.
Dante again.
For Dante.
Yep.
Yeah, who would have thought?
All right, so that's your third Seer, your third Dante. You're out of Graphs, you're out of Scarms. You're probably out of Farfas. I don't think they played 3. You've got Libic in rotation, Barbar in rotation. Do I know the card in hand?
No.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what good hits you have left. Dante's fine. Oh, those are 2 good ones. Holy guacamole.
I mean, they're not that bad, except that they don't do anything to towers,
That
sadly.
is true. That's, you know.
We'll trigger Seer.
Yep.
I will bring out Barbar. Special Rubik.
Yes.
Nightmare Shark.
Okay, that's fine.
Activate effect.
All right, the 2 Barbar, the Nightmare Shark. Gotcha.
Barbar effect.
Yep, take a 9 here, I imagine.
Yep, you're going to take 9. I'll get rid of a Graph, a Libic, and a Scarm. Hit direct.
15.
And second main, we will downerd.
Yep.
Actually, actively worse for me. This needs to be an attack position. And we'll throw it to you.
What's downerd at?
25. Not good enough.
It's
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I was like, what's the play here,
buddy? I tried.
No, I have been in the Nightmare Shark position many times.
I tried, buddy. I really tried. So yes, Burning Abyss doesn't have an out to towers. The way you technically can win the matchup is if you like barbar them enough and then like Nightmare Shark them for game, but it was not happening, especially because you were just able to keep pendulum summoning and apply so much pressure. I didn't have the ability to keep getting the barbar back. So here we go.
I think you may be in a much better position this time, I'll tell you that.
Okay, we don't get to draw. I need to remember that because that actually quite matters with this hand. We're going to go Special Scarm Normal Graph.
One of these hands. Yep.
Yeah, not happy about specialing the Scarm, but we got to do what we got to do. Make the Dante. Detach the Graph, we'll mill 3.
Ooh, wow. Big
those
fucking
suck.
money.
We will grab a Seer just to get him in rotation, and we will set 3 cards and fucking pray. Go
if you
ahead.
drew a Fire Lake 3 games in a row, I mean, what are the chances? Let's go Scout.
Scout is fine. Would you like to activate and
Yes,
pay?
please.
I have MST.
No. Okay. I have Summoner's Art.
Mistake.
MST.
Fuck. Yep.
I was really hoping that I would be able to contest that last back row as well, but here we are.
Qliphort Scout. Oh, I don't have a hand! I can't
Oh,
do
you
this!
fucking
Fuck!
dingle dork! Whoa, you silly
I fucked
Billy.
up!
Oh,
I fucked up! I forgot you need a card! Oh, man.
Oh.
What a bad
Time
card.
to pay
Yep.
and feel great. But
Yep.
Here we go. Here we go! Okay, we just need a guy, right?
If I would have had a Scarm search, I would have been able to get...
That's what they all say.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
what they all say.
We're gonna go for we could get Cephalopod here.
Oh, God.
I think I'm actually good. Sadly,
That's a lie.
We are just a little off of Killer. We are just a teensy weensy little bit off of Killer. We're gonna
God for
grab
that.
Helix.
Sure.
Monolith.
That's pretty good. Yep.
PS2.
Sure.
We're gonna tribute them both. Stealth.
That's a good one. Yep.
Stealth, I'm going to bounce. Well, I think I almost want to bounce the Seer to get it out of rotation. It returns it to the hand. What am I even talking about? Get the Dante out of here.
I was about to say...
And let's use Helix to pop the back row as well.
Ooh, it was Mind Crush.
Whoa,
Who
what the
would've
heck?
thought?
Whoa, that's crazy.
Why didn't you activate that, you fool?
That's a good question. All right, so I can go to battle here. You can tag the seer out for a graph that hasn't yet activated. I think that does not even remotely matter, right? Yeah, we'll set one, we'll go to combat, and we will do this.
Great. I mean, skill drains in my future, fantastic.
Could be anything.
I will get the graph.
End phase, fucking Pot of Greed.
Monolith's a good card. I will Scarm Search.
Yep.
Okay, so if I'm trying to play around the fact you have skill drain, I can't get Tour Guide. Fuck it. Let's just get a Rubik.
Yes.
Draw. That is not ideal. Like, Stealth may as well just be as good as Towers against my
That's
deck
the
for all
unfortunate
purposes.
part is it already had towers.
Special Rubik.
Now that is an activated special.
Yes. Do you have a response?
I do.
Fuck. Well, now we're actually just dead here. Let me put these back. Does activate in the hand. Normal Mathematician.
Ooh, sexy, yes.
I don't even think I play a card that matters. I'll be honest with you.
You gotta have a Pero in there.
I do not.
Okay.
I wish I had a Pero because that would be like the best card in this circumstance. So we can do what here? Lose. That seems about right. Nothing I do here matters. So I will just dump a Scarm.
And then we lose
Why
the
is
graph
this decked
here,
out
too.
a Pero? I lose the graph here too. Yes, unfortunately.
We're gonna draw our way out of this, folks.
End phase Scarm.
Yes.
And we'll get a Seer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Stand by main.
Yep.
Scout. You were at what, 8,000?
Correct.
We're gonna use Scout to go get... You know what? Let's grab your favorite card.
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm just being demoralized at this point.
Wavering Eyes.
That's a card. I'll take my 5.
And this is going to pop the Vanities as well.
Correct. Which is what you want because you need to be able to Pendulum Summon to kill me here.
And I intend to. We'll grab a Monolith.
Sure.
Let's go Monolith, Ceph. PS 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll do 4. Then we'll go Scout for Stealth. Bounce this guy, and then this is lethal.
That's it. That's the end of the game.
Oh, man. What a stinker. What a stinky dinky of a match.
Yeah, so my way to out stealth is to make Acid Golem.
Yep.
And that's what I was trying to do, but unfortunately Vanities put an end to that quite quickly because you didn't have any of the guys that were draining me. But even so, even if I summon Acid Golem, I'm not in a great position from that point. You can easily take care of it with any of your things. You still have Monolith, plus you had Scout up at that point. So it was a hop, skip, and a jump for you to just reassemble your board. You could have probably searched towers at that point and then just sacked for towers, and then I had no way to deal with that regardless. You can see where it's difficult for a deck like BA to actually compete when we don't have access to Fire Lake to be able to nuke your scales at will. I will say I did misplay to the degree that I could have had a Mind Crush potentially live. I was fighting between Mistake, MST, and Mind Crush.
Right.
And so I would have had to not set either MST or Mistake, which to be fair, my Mistake lost out to your MST, but I didn't know that was going to happen. So both of those effectively stop your Scout, so I could have kept that. All of them essentially stop everything, and I guess I could have like Mind Crushed your towers if you tried to go for it. But I don't know.
It's a hard
I
call
don't think
to
I was in a
make.
great position either way.
Because I have the MST in hand, as soon as you activate one, the MST trades for the other. And so like if it's Mind Crush MST set, then that's still like not ideal. It's just like
precisely.
It's a rough matchup, I don't even think it's a rough matchup. It's like a fine matchup for you. The only problem is just like Towers is such a stupid card.
It is.
This was innovated way late in Qliphort's lifespan. But as soon as people figured it out, it was everywhere. Wavering Eyes is such an unbelievably powerful card, as we're about to see. The consistency of this deck is off the charts, just by virtue of like Summoner's Art being legal, Scout's still at 2, Trample Links gets you multiple activations. This deck is even on Trade-In, as well as you saw Into the Void, Sacred Sword, Upstart Goblin.
Sacred Sword.
Almost impossible to brick, and if you do brick, you're bricking like I did in Game 3, onto 2-mat Stealth, draw 2, which is still insane against anyone.
Yeah.
You know, it has the toolbox capacity to deal with almost anything. But like you were showing off in our second game, it doesn't really have an elegant out to towers. Fond memories during this format. I was playing BA at this time, and if you knew you were up against Killer, you would literally start barbaring turn 1 because you have no other way to do it. Like, there's just not another. Decks that make 4s can use Diamond Crab King to out towers, but that
Very
is
funny.
Really the only out that decks had. And, you know, you can see why this card was not around for a very long time.
Let's also mention that Diamond Crab King was a promo in the manga. And on top of it, it was like $30. And as you said, it was you had to be playing some rank 4 focus in your deck to be able to play it. So Shadal's had technically a way to access it because, I mean, we saw like last episode with like Star Seraphs. That's not hard to do. Even without that, Squamata and Dragon are 4s. Denko, I guess, is a 4. So like there are ways to get to it, even though it's not pretty. Like, I mean, if you're playing Teller still at this point, Teller can easily shit out a Crab King. That's not too difficult. But
yeah, you got other
Necros
problems.
even... Yeah, like Necros is another one, right? Where 4s aren't really an issue. Your Manjus, your Senjus, your Unicorns, etc. So allowed Qli to compete on an axis that it wasn't able to before, but not exactly in a way that was looked fondly upon by the majority of the player base, unless you were the one playing this deck.
Yeah, I do want to point out that during this time, it's not like Towers Turbo was the best deck. It was definitely very playable, and there was an argument that at high levels of competition, it was, like, probably the thing you should be scared of more than anything else. Necros does have pretty substantial outs to it. There are a lot of cards that trade very favorably in the Qliphort Towers, especially in a format where Necros of Gungnir is still being played main deck. So there are ways for decks to get over this bad boy, and as a result, Qliphort Towers' legacy is a lot less an ability to beat up established meta decks, and a lot more the locals legend. This was a gatekeeper like almost no other deck we have ever seen. If you're on Rogue this format, this was your least favorite card in the universe, and it's not hard to see why.
100%. Yeah, and also one card we haven't talked about because neither of our decks are playing it, yours for obvious reasons, is Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre actually was released in Cross Souls and is a way to sort of just be able to, on turn 0, interact with the opponent, in this case you, being able to get into an Qliphort Towers turn 1 by enabling to pop the Scout, for instance. And so this is the first in the line of like the Ghost Girl hand traps that we start getting, and is a pretty favorable card at this point for decks like Shadal, which can afford to play another light target just to be able to go into a construct. So we didn't see it in this matchup, but that was also something as well. But surely, Joseph, I mean, you completely locked me out of this game with Vanity's Emptiness. I locked you out of the previous episode with Vanity's Emptiness. There's a ban list around the corner. Surely the format will be saved and Konami will come to our rescue and ban Vanity's Emptiness and all of these problematic cards like Towers and Necros, right?
Wavering Eyes. I mean, it almost doesn't even, it's not worth explaining because of course they would. Like, you can't look at a format in this much disarray where the only thing you can play is either Necros or in a deck that attempts to prevent your opponent from playing entirely in Towers. There's no way you can look at this format and come to any other conclusion as to what the problem cards are. So I have complete and full faith that next episode we'll be playing Ultra Athletes.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shoutouts to Shout1317, Tim00x3, Moto, MBT Play Medolce, Cameron Smith, Pony Stark Part 2, The Synchro Guy, Dan the Manhoban, Phoenix the Immortal, I Ship MBT and Simo, Draconic, Jordan Coons, Iron Bladesman, Jesse Wood, Chris Hood, Valen Jackson, Dylan Hunter, Cody, Brett's Extremely Vulgar Man, Little Fadeleaf, Brody Eastwood, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Hornet Indian Taisho, TC Gaming, thanks for the sleeves, Dad, Max, Matthew Brady, Twinkle Muncher, Eater of Crayons, Luabon, Yodabon, Helios515, Simo's Chaos Cooking Draft, Simping for Simo, Cheeks McLapperty, Stolfin Amethyst, Dalton, LGMBTQ, Nim Noodle, Malabranch of the Burning Tunnels, Wonder Waffle, Skull Servant, and the Wandering Doomed or Boyfriends, MBT cancel by all community soon, cancel by all committee soon, cancel by all players soon, Aw Yus, Unis the Bus, The Undertaker versus Simo and MBT, Shrugs X, the Crystal Beast Enthusiast, ITF, and Corvain. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.